Hello everyone and welcome back to the sessions on strategic financial management. Friends, these are the revisionary classes for strategic financial management and we are focusing the revisions on important topics and within important topics also certain important aspects. So, in the earlier revisionary classes where we have focused on hedging through derivative instruments, if you can recall, we have learned hedging through futures and three different aspects were covered: hedging through stock futures, hedging through index futures, hedging through commodity futures. That time I told you under forex risk management we will be specifically covering a separate class which would target hedging foreign exchange risk through currency futures. Now friends, this is something really important, and if you could see in recent times lots of questions have been asked from this category, so you should prepare it very well and a clear conceptual understanding is definitely needed. One more thing, when I provide explanation I will also provide you some important notes to write down with calculative examples and solutions for the same. Being revisionary classes, we will not have too much time to write down everything within the video, so whichever point I instruct you to write down, what you should do is you should just pause the video, note down everything what you want, and then you can resume the video and continue watching ahead. So I will not be able to give you additional time separately to write down. If you can match up with my pace of writing, that's fine. Otherwise you can always pause the video and write the necessary things which are yet to be written. Now friends, let us now stick to the subject matter: hedging foreign exchange risk through currency futures. If you could recall, we have learnt everything about the basics of futures and hedging through futures in the earlier revisionary classes. So I am not going to discuss what are futures. Here I would simply say what are currency futures. Currency futures are such futures contract when the underlying is a currency. That means the contract would be to buy or sell a currency. So you know one thing, in derivative market the settlement would happen on a net differential basis, and how would we effect it rightly and how would we achieve the objective of hedging foreign exchange risk through currency futures? Let us talk about that. So who would want to hedge foreign exchange risk? Typically two types of parties, one who is an importer and one who is an exporter. So importer will have a need to make a payment in foreign currency. While having this discussion, we are assuming that the invoicing is in foreign currency and the payment is due in foreign currency. So an importer will have an obligation to make a payment in foreign currency. In such a situation, if the importer has obligation to make payment in the foreign currency, importer has a need to buy foreign currency. So if importer has a need to buy the foreign currency and there is a currency futures contract available, and the currency futures contract has the underlying as that foreign currency which our importer wants to buy, it is obvious, because you want to buy, you would take a long position in such currency futures contract. Inversely, there may be a situation where the underlying is not the foreign currency but the local currency of the importer. What I am trying to tell you, it is a case of importer. Importer will have a need to buy foreign currency because the invoice has been raised by the supplier in its foreign currency, I mean in its currency, which for the importer is definitely a foreign currency, and because the importer has to settle the payment in foreign currency but the currency futures contract is denominated in local currency, in other words the underlying is the local currency, what would happen, the importer will have to take a short position in such currency futures contract. Let me explain this by giving an example. Assume that the importer company is an Indian company So importer is a company operating in India. The supplier is another party which is located or which is operating in the United States of America. As a result, the supplier has its own currency as US dollar and the importer in India has its own currency as Indian rupee. Now what will happen? The supplier has raised an invoice of US dollar 1 lakh and the payment has to be settled after 3 months from the date of purchase. So our Indian company, who is an Indian importer, will have to arrange 1 lakh US dollar within 3 months time. For this purpose, to hedge the foreign exchange risk, the Indian importer company wants to take the cover through currency futures. So first of all, the Indian importer company will have a need to buy dollars because it has to make the payment in dollars. It will have to arrange dollars. It will have to buy dollars. Now imagine in the derivative market, if the currency futures contract is such a contract where the underlying asset or where the underlying is US dollar, which our Indian importer wants to buy, the Indian importer would simply take a long position. But in the same situation, what if the underlying in a currency futures contract is not USD but Indian rupee? Then we would say that because the Indian importer wants to buy USD, in other words, it will have to sell Indian rupee. And because the currency futures contract has the underlying asset as Indian rupee, it will have to take a short position in such currency futures contract. That was the case of importer. Let us now discuss the case of an exporter. In case of exporter, what will happen? Exporter has raised invoice in the currency of the customer. That means, again, let us assume that we are a company operating in India and we have made an export to a customer in Germany. So the invoice has been raised in euros. If the invoice was raised in Indian rupee, then there is no need to hedge. Because the invoice has been raised in euros, there is a need to create a hedge position. Because if you don't create a hedge position, what will happen is, due to foreign exchange fluctuation, the Indian company will be definitely facing risk. Now over here, the export has been made, invoice has been raised in euros. The invoice value is suppose 50,000 euros and the Indian company is supposed to receive this amount after 3 months from now, and it has decided to take the route of currency futures for the purpose of hedging. Now understand, after 3 months, the German customer would make the payment to Indian exporter in euros. That means the Indian company will be receiving 50,000 euros after 3 months, which it will have to sell. Because the company will have to sell these euros, what will happen? For selling these euros, it wants to create a hedge position, and if it is routing its hedge through currency futures, and if the underlying in that currency futures is euro as a currency and you want to sell euro, obviously what you would do, you would take a short position in the currency futures contract. Inversely, if the underlying in the currency futures contract is Indian rupee, the Indian exporter will have to take a long position in such currency futures contract. So friends, the most important thing in this discussion is planning the right position, whether it should be long position or short position. If you don't plan the position correctly, everything goes wrong. So whatever we have discussed, I will first provide these notes on the screen, and then you are supposed to note down everything. And as I told you, if you find no time available for writing down the notes, you can pause the video, write down the notes, and then move ahead. So let us first write notes, and then we start solving calculative examples, which are important questions asked in past examination. So friends, let us conclude what we just discussed. If the company that is planning to hedge the foreign exchange risk is an importer and has to settle the payment in foreign currency, it will have the need to buy such foreign currency. If the importer company decides to hedge the foreign exchange risk through currency futures, then it should take a long position in currency futures if the currency futures contract is given in foreign currency. Inversely, it should take short position if currency futures contract is available in local currency. Let us now deal with the case of exporter. If the company is an exporter and has to receive the amount in foreign currency, it will have the need to sell such foreign currency. If the exporter company plans to hedge the foreign exchange risk through currency futures, then it should take a short position in the currency futures if the currency futures contract is given in foreign currency. Inversely, it should take a long position if currency futures contract is available in local currency. So friends, quickly take note of this and then we shall move ahead. Alright friends, time for us to apply all these concepts and let us see how these would be applied through some important questions. And let us first take up question number 26. Let us read this question. X Limited acquired an asset for $63,000 with a credit period of 6 months. Spot rate on the date of purchase is rupees 64 per dollar. The company is willing to take a contract of currency futures for hedging its dollar liability. Following are the terms and conditions of dollar future contract. 6-month dollar future price is rupees 65 per dollar. Contract size is $10,000 per contract. Margin to be deposited is rupees 12,000 per contract. For arranging the margin money, the company can borrow at 18% per annum for 6 months. Company can also enter into forward exchange contract for buying $63,000 at a forward rate of rupees 65.35 per dollar. After 6 months, the following information is obtained. Spot rate is rupees 66.4 per dollar. Spot rate adopted by dollar future market is rupees 66.25 per dollar. You are required to evaluate which of the following would have been the best course of action. Number 1, no hedging. Number 2, using forward cover. And number 3, using currency futures. Let us see how to present the solution. In the solution, we first begin with the first alternative, that is no hedging. As the company has not planned any hedge, its outflow after 6 months will be simply the total amount payable, that is $63,000, and that will be multiplied by the spot rate prevailing after 6 months, which results into total outflow of rupees 41,83,200. In this case, simply there was no hedge that was planned. This could be a beneficial situation, we don't know unless we compare this with other alternatives. So let us look into the second alternative. Second alternative is hedging through forward cover. In this case, total outflow after 6 months will be same outflow $63,000, but this time this will be multiplied to the forward rate that is agreed with the bank today. So the rate contracted with the bank today, rupees 65.35 per dollar, gets multiplied to $63,000, and the total outflow that results after 6 months would be rupees 41,17,050. So friends, as I told you earlier, in these two alternatives, it's just a one-line calculation to be done. So I would want you to write down this quickly so that we may take the next alternative, that is currency futures, after this. Alright, let us move ahead and deal with the third alternative, that is hedging through currency futures. Over here, we would first plan the position. As the company is an importer and has to settle the payment in foreign currency, it will have the need to buy such foreign currency. As the currency future contract is given in foreign currency, the company should take a long position in the currency futures. So here we have mentioned the fact why the company will require a long position. Now, total amount of dollar required for settlement is $63,000. So the company has a need to buy $63,000 and contract size per contract is given as $10,000. So what will happen? Number of contracts will come initially in fraction, that is 6.3. We would round it off to 6 contracts. Knowing the fact that 6 contracts will not hedge this whole amount, it will hedge only $60,000. So what has to be done with the balance amount, we will plan later. But first what I want you to do is write down this whole content and then I take you ahead. Alright friends, let us move ahead and mention the fact that with 6 contracts, $10,000 multiplied by 6, that is $60,000 can be hedged through currency futures and the remaining $3,000 can be hedged through forward exchange contract. So amount of margin that you would have to deposit is 6 contracts multiplied by 12,000, because for each contract 12,000 is the margin to be deposited. In total, the amount of margin to be deposited will be rupees 72,000, and the question is how to arrange this margin. As per the information given in the question, this amount can be arranged by local borrowings at the rate of 18% per annum for 6 months. So friends, please take note of this as well and then we move ahead. Alright, after writing this, you would now want to determine the gain or loss that has arisen in the currency futures contract on its expiry. So let us compute that. So what you should do, calculation of net gain or loss on currency futures contract. Now don't forget that you have taken a long position in the currency futures. So contract price to buy, long position means you have agreed to buy. Okay. So you have agreed to buy dollars at what price? The contract price was rupees 65 per dollar, and the price adopted by futures market on expiry, that is the price that will be applicable for settlement. Do you see? This price is more than the contracted price. So in simple words, you have agreed to buy at 65, but the price prevailing on settlement is 66.25. So you have made a gain of rupees 1.25 per dollar. Contract size is $10,000 and number of contracts are 6 contracts. So rupees 1.25 per dollar multiplied by $10,000 will give you gain for one contract, multiplied by 6 will give you overall gain. So the total resulting gain is rupees 75,000. Now what will happen to this rupees 75,000? Whatever margin you have deposited, on that margin this amount of gain rupees 75,000 will be added. So please take note of this as well and then we move ahead. Alright friends, after computing this gain on currency futures, the final calculation would be to arrive at the net outflow. So this is the most important calculation. Look into how it will be presented. Calculation of total outflow after 6 months. In this alternative of currency futures, what you would do is you would eventually buy $60,000 at the spot price. Don't ever forget that through currency futures contract you cannot actually buy the currency, only the differential will be settled in cash. The profit was added to your account already. So here 66.40 is the spot rate prevailing after 6 months. That will be the rate at which you will buy $60,000. Your effective outflow will be rupees 39,84,000. However, the gain from currency futures, that was rupees 75,000, will be subtracted and eventually your outflow will reduce. The balance 3,000 you will have to buy at the forward rate, because we have planned that these $3,000 will be buying through the forward exchange contract with the bank, and that will result into an additional outflow of 196,050. Now we have also to pay interest on the local borrowings for arranging this 72,000 rupees, that was the margin money. So for arranging this margin money, this is an additional cost. This also becomes part of your overall outflow. And finally, from all these amounts which represents the outflows, we would subtract the gain on currency futures that we have calculated earlier, that is rupees 75,000, and the final net outflow after 6 months will be 41,11,530. So this amount is found to be lowest of all the outflows, because in each of the three alternatives we are finding outflows. We would try to minimize the outflow. If this is the minimum outflow, we would conclude that the company can minimize its outflow by using currency futures. So friends, please take note of this as well, and that will be end of the solution. Alright friends, you would have finished writing this whole thing. Let us move ahead and take up another such question, that is question number 27. Let us read this question. On 1/4/2016, A Limited imported goods of the value $84,000 with a credit period of 6 months. Spot rate on the date of purchase is ₹1 equals to $0.01543. The company is willing to take a contract of currency futures for hedging its dollar liability. Following are the terms and conditions of currency futures contract. 6-month currency futures price is ₹1 equals to $0.01529. Contract size is ₹5,40,000 per contract, and margin to be deposited is ₹20,000 per contract. For arranging the margin money, the company can borrow at 12% per annum for 6 months. On 30/9/2016, that is on the date of settlement, following information is obtained. Spot rate is ₹1 equals to $0.01493, and spot rate adopted by futures market is ₹1 equals to $0.01497. You are required to explain how currency futures can be used to hedge foreign exchange risk and determine the net outflow on 30/9/2016. In the solution, we would obviously first mention the fact that we will have to take a short position. Why we will require short position, the reasons have to be mentioned. So on 30th September 2016, the company will have to buy $84,000. The currency futures contract is in terms of rupees. Therefore, buying dollar using currency futures, the company will have to take a short position in the currency futures. I have explained you this already a few times, that the requirement is to buy dollars and the currency futures contract is given in terms of rupees. So instead of entering into a contract of buying dollars, we would actually enter into a contract of selling rupees against a dollar. So obviously, if you sell rupees against dollar, you would eventually end up buying dollars. So because the contract is given in Indian rupee, we will be taking short position in the currency futures. So what is the total rupee value to be shorted? You can see $84,000 is what we would want to hedge, and the contracted rate as per the currency futures contract is $0.01529 per rupee. Because this is a quote of rupee and the amount that we would want to hedge is given in dollars, so $84,000 have been divided by the quote of rupee. This results into a total rupee value of 54,93,787. This is the requirement for hedging. Contract size is given as rupees 5,40,000, and now number of contracts to be entered, number of contracts to be executed will be the total desired amount divided by the contract size, and what you get is 10.17 contracts, which you will have to round it off to 10 contracts. For the remaining 0.17 contract, or in other words, I would say contract size being 5,40,000, and you are taking up 10 contracts which will cover 54 lakh rupees. So out of this total amount required, 54 lakh will be covered through currency futures. The remaining amount 93,787 will not be covered. That means this will be obviously a case of under hedging. So friends, before I take you further, please take note of this whole thing. Alright friends, let us move ahead and observe the outcome of currency futures contract. So calculation of net gain or loss in currency futures. So it's an important calculation, please pay attention to this. First of all, because we have taken a short position, we are talking about the contracted price to sell. This was the contracted price at which we have taken a short position. Mind it, we have entered into a contract to sell rupees, and the price at which we have agreed to sell rupee is $0.01529, and now the price adopted by futures market on expiry or on settlement is this price $0.01497 per rupee. Observe, compare these two prices, you would find price at which we have agreed to sell is higher than the price on settlement. As a result, we have made a gain of $0.00032 per rupee. Now over here, a point of caution, because it is a contract to buy and sell rupee. Understand one thing, that we have entered into a currency futures contract where the underlying asset was not US dollar, it was Indian rupee. Because the underlying asset is Indian rupee, the gain or loss what we get as a result will be expressed in dollars. This is one thing. Secondly, you would see these are indirect quotes, right? Because these are the quotes given for Indian rupee, and when rupee is an inferior currency as compared to US dollar, so obviously the quotes will appear in this kind of decimal format, and there will be multiple places after decimal. You round off anything over here, it will be a big mistake in your end solution. So please be cautious over here. And now this gain in terms of per rupee will be multiplied to the contract size of 5,40,000 rupees, and we have 10 such contracts. So finally the total gain will be $1,728. I told you friends, keep this caution, because we are entering into a contract to sell rupees, the resulting gain or loss will always appear in dollar. The point is, this gain is in dollars, but we would want all calculations in terms of rupees. As a result, what you should do, determine the total gain in rupees. So you have taken that gain of $1728 and divided by the spot rate prevailing on that date. But friends, take caution again, this is the spot rate that your bank will quote, and what will happen, this rate is the rate adopted by currency futures market. So the derivative market has adopted this rate, which may not match with the rate quoted by your banker. Your banker has quoted this rate, you should adopt this rate for converting dollar into rupees. So what will happen in this case, simply while settlement takes place, the gain of $1728 will be transferred to your account, and in your account your banker will obviously use the spot rate quoted by them to convert this into a gain in terms of rupees, and the resulting gain in terms of rupees is rupees 1,15,740. So friends, please take note of this as well, and then we proceed ahead. Alright, moving ahead, what we now do is, we would find the amount of margin to be deposited. So we have 10 contracts, and the margin money to be deposited per contract was rupees 20,000. In total, rupees 2 lakh has to be deposited. To arrange this money for depositing, you will have to rely upon the local borrowings, and this amount can be financed at 12% per annum for 6 months. The interest thereon will be rupees 2 lakhs, that is the amount borrowed, into 12% into the time period involved, that is 6 by 12. 12,000 will be the total amount of interest. So friends, please take note of this as well, and then we move ahead. Alright friends, let us move ahead and determine the final calculation, that is the total amount of outflow that would result. So, your total outflow on 30th September 2016 would be, first thing, buy spot $84,000 at the spot rate prevailing. Again and again I am telling you, this spot rate through which you are buying is not the spot rate or settlement rate adopted by derivative market. This is the rate quoted by banks. So, through this spot rate, when you buy $84,000, your outflow will be rupees 56,26,256. And now, the interest what you have on local borrowings, we have computed this earlier, 12,000 rupees. This is yet another outflow, and gain on currency futures will be subtracted. This is an inflow. So, you have these two outflows and this as inflow. Finally, the net outflow after 6 months will be rupees 55,22,516. So friends, take note of this, and I'll also show you an alternative way of presenting the same calculation. Let us see an alternative way to present the same solution, that is to calculate this outflow of 55,22,516. So what we have to do is, in this alternative way, you observe one thing, that we have a need to buy $84,000, right? And what has happened, the gain that has arisen on currency futures contract was $1728, which the derivative market would remit to your banker. That means when this amount comes as an inward remittance, your burden to buy $84,000 gets reduced by this amount of gain, and now eventually you have to buy only the remaining amount, that is $82,272. So we will not convert this amount into rupee and then again buy $84,000. We would eventually buy only this much. And now to buy this dollar value, the spot rate quoted by banker is $0.01493 per rupee. And when you divide this $82,272 by this rate, what you get is 55,10,516. To this you simply add the interest that we have computed earlier. The net outflow will be rupees 55,22,516. Same amount computed differently. In examination, obviously you have to present any one alternative way. I would prefer the second alternative always. Take note of this alternative calculation also, and that will be end of solution. Alright friends, let us move ahead and take up a very important question, that is question number 28. This question has been asked 3 to 4 times already in the past exams. Let us read this question. XYZ Limited is an export-oriented business house based in Mumbai. The company invoices in customers' currency. Its receipt of $1 lakh is due on September 1, 2005. Market information as at June 1, 2005. They have given exchange rates of spot 1 month forward and 3 month forward. They have given currency futures information for June and September contract. Then interest rates in India is given for June and September, and margins are informed for June and September. We will analyze this whole thing later, but let us first read the question ahead. On September 1, 2005, the spot rate $US per rupee is 0.02133 and currency future rate is 0.02134. Comment which of the following methods would be most advantageous for XYZ Limited, that is using forward contract, using currency futures, and third one is not hedging currency risk. It may be assumed that variations in margin would be settled on the maturity of the futures contract. For analyzing the whole information given to us, let us go back to the initial part. Let us see what is given. First of all, The amount of the receipt is due on September 1, 2005. That means $1 lakh of inflow will be on September 1, 2005, and they have given market information as at June 1, 2005. Look into one thing, September 1, June 1, there is a 3-month lag. That means today is June 1 and the expected receipt is on September 1. If at all you are thinking of entering into forward exchange contract, this 1 month forward rate is not relevant at all. Secondly, the spot exchange rate on June 1 also has no relevance. The only relevant information from this box is 3-month forward rate. So, what I am trying to tell you is too much of unnecessary information is also available. You should be able to sort out what exactly is required by us. Secondly, if the receipt is due in September 1, 2005, you cannot use June contract of currency futures to hedge this risk. You will have to use September contract. So many a times students may get confused and use June contract because today it is June 1. So friends, one thing very important, June contract does not mean the contract that will initiate in June. June contract means the contract that will settle in June. So June contract cannot be used for hedging the receipt that is due on September 1. You should use the September contract. Because you are using the September contract, obviously the margin that you will consider will also be the margin applicable for September. Likewise, the interest rates that you will consider will also be for the September necessarily. That means what we have, all these information we have to pick all September based information only, and from this forward exchange rate we have to use this 3-month forward rate necessarily. Moving ahead, on settlement, the later part of the question informs that on the date of settlement, this is the rate prevailing as spot rate, and the currency future rate that is adopted by the derivative market is 0.02134. So friends, don't ever get confused. For determining your gains and losses, it will be this rate, the derivative market adopted rate, and for conversion of rupee into dollar or vice versa, you would be using this spot rate. In the solution, we would first deal with the smaller part, and particularly the no hedging part. If the company does not cover itself, that is no hedging alternative, the resulting inflow will be based on the spot rate prevailing on September 1st, 2005, and that rate is already informed to you. So the resulting inflow will be, you should understand, $1 lakh is the amount of inflow, and this is the spot rate prevailing on September 1. So the resulting inflow in Indian rupee will be rupees 46,88,233. So quickly take note of this and then we move ahead. Alright, moving ahead, we take the next alternative, that is the alternative of entering into forward exchange contract to cover the risk. So the resulting inflow will be based on the 3-month forward contract rate. And why a 3-month forward contract rate, I have explained to you already. So the rate that is available on June 1, 2005 is given to you as $0.02127 per rupee, and $1 lakh will be divided by this rate. The resulting inflow through forward exchange contract will be a definite amount of rupees 47,01,457. So take note of this as well, and then we move ahead. Alright, let us move ahead and deal with the main part of the solution that deals with currency futures. So if the company plans the hedge using currency futures, two important things that we must mention over here, that the currency futures for September shall be used and the company should take long position in such contract. So the important thing over here is you have to use the September contract, and within which you have to take a long position. I have already explained you why you have to take a long position. You should mention this very clearly in your solution, that September contract is taken up with a long position. the contracted rate in the currency futures is rupee 1 equals to $0.02118, and now the amount to be hedged is $1 lakh. So the total value to be covered under currency futures will be $1 lakh will be divided by the contracted rate, and the resulting amount of rupee value to be covered will be rupees 47,21,435. Please take note of this much. Alright, let us move ahead and define the number of contracts to be used. Contract size is rupees 4,72,000. So the number of currency futures contract that you should enter into will be the required amount to be hedged and divided by the contract size. What you get is 10.003 contracts. Obviously you will round it off to 10 contracts. This being a very small fraction, we are ignoring and we are just going ahead with 10 contracts. Now the margin that is required to be deposited for the September contract is given as rupees 15,000, and we have planned to take 10 contracts. So obviously the total margin to be deposited will be rupees 1,50,000, and this amount will be arranged through local borrowings, and the interest cost on the margin will be 1,50,000 into 8% into 3 by 12, and that is rupees 3,000. So friends, take note of this as well, and then we move ahead. Alright friends, let us move ahead and determine the resulting gain or loss on the currency futures contract. So gain or loss on currency futures. So first thing first, you have taken a long position in the rupee contract. That means you have agreed to buy rupees at this rate. So this was the contracted rate at which you have agreed to buy rupees by taking a long position. The rate applicable for settlement, which was adopted by currency futures market or derivative market, was $0.02134 per rupee. Obviously again, the rate at which you have agreed to buy is lower than the rate prevailing on settlement, so you have made a gain of $0.00016 per rupee. Because this is a gain for each rupee, the gain is expressed in dollars. Let us multiply this to the contract size, that is rupees 4,72,000 per contract, and further multiply this by number of contracts, that is 10 contracts. We get the total amount of gain, which will be denominated in dollars. So total gain is $755.20. Friends, I have explained you earlier also, because the contract is denominated in rupee, the resulting gain will always be in dollars. Now we will have a need to convert this dollar value into rupee. So on 1st September 2005, the gain of $755.20 shall be converted into rupee using the spot rate on that date. Now this is the spot rate which differs from this rate, correct? This is the spot rate quoted by bank. This will be used for converting this dollar value into rupee value. So resulting gain in rupees will be $755.20 divided by the spot rate, and what you get is rupees 35,406. Please take note of this whole thing, and then we deal with the main part, that is the calculation of net inflow. Alright, let us move ahead and deal with the last part of the solution. So determining the net outflow under currency futures. So the amount of $1 lakh, you have no choice but to sell it spot. That means this $1 lakh of inward remittance you have to convert into rupee by using the spot rate quoted by bank. So 1 lakh divided by this rate would give you rupees 46,88,233. This will be the amount of inflow that you get. To this you will add the gain on currency futures and subtract the interest cost, and the final amount of net inflow is rupees 47,20,639. Now compare the three inflows that we have obtained, A, B and C. A was no hedging, B was hedging through forward cover, and C is hedging through currency futures. Because it is a case of inflow, we would want to maximize the inflow, and the maximum inflow is resulted through currency futures. So let us conclude, inflow can be maximized using currency futures contract. So friends, take note of this as well, and that will be end of the solution. Let us take up question number 29. Let us read this question. Nitrogen Limited, a UK company, is in the process of negotiating an order amounting to euro 4 million with a large German retailer on 6 months credit. If successful, this will be the first time that Nitrogen Limited has exported goods into highly competitive German market. The following three alternatives are being considered for managing the transaction risk before the order is finalized. First, invoice the German firm in sterling using the current exchange rate to calculate the invoice amount. Second is the alternative of invoicing the German firm in euro and using a forward foreign exchange contract to hedge the transaction risk. Third, invoice the German first in euro and use sufficient 6-month sterling future contracts to the nearly whole number to hedge the transaction risk. Further given, following data is available. Spot rate, they have given the rate of pound in terms of euro. 6-month forward points have been given in terms of euro cents, and then you have been given 6-month future contract is currently trading at euro 1.1760 per pound. 6-month future contract size is pound 62,500. 6-month spot rate and future settlement rate is given as euro 1.1785 per pound. Required, calculate to the nearest pound the receipt for Nitrogen Limited under each of the three proposals. And second thing they are asking, in your opinion, which alternative would you consider to be most appropriate and the reason therefore? So friends, before we proceed with the solution, let us first analyze the entire question. Let us go back to the first part of the question. Let us see what is informed to us. First of all, the company Nitrogen Limited is an exporter based in UK, correct? So it is clear that this is an exporter operating in UK. That means its local currency is sterling or GBP or simply pound. Now the customer's currency in Germany is in euro and invoice value is euro 4 million. However, there are three alternatives given for hedging the foreign exchange risk from the viewpoint of this UK company. So the first is invoicing in sterling. Invoicing in sterling means as good as invoicing in local currency. If you are invoicing in local currency, obviously foreign exchange fluctuation risk does not fall upon you. Second, it is the alternative of invoicing the German firm in euro and then hedging through the forward contract. And third is to use the currency futures to hedge the risk. So finally what we are going to do is we are going to evaluate the three alternatives given to us and we will work out the amount of inflow in GBP or in sterling, and because it is a case of inflow, we will look into the inflow which gives the maximum value, whether it is alternative 1, 2 or 3, whichever gives maximum inflow in terms of GBP will be the alternative selected. Now let us move forward with the information given. Spot rate is given as euro 1.1750 to euro 1.1770 per pound. That means the quote is given for pound in terms of euro. No doubts about that. Further, 6-month forward points given. It is 0.60 to 0.5 0.55 euro cents. First of all, friends, you should understand 1 euro cent would be euro 0.01. So if I write 0.60 euro cents, it will be basically the last two digits in terms of points, right? So instead of informing 60 points as forward points, they have given 0.60 and quoted as euro cents. While we write the solution, we would simply consider this as 60 points and 55 points to be adjusted at the last two digits of the given quote, the way we have always been dealing with swap points. Now, if you observe the points, the point applicable for bid rate is higher than the point applicable for ask rate, which is a clear indication that the quoted currency is depreciating. Quoted currency over here is pound. So pound is depreciating against euro. That is a clear hint. Therefore, to arrive at the forward rate from the spot rate, you are going to subtract these forward points. Then there is information given about the currency future, and currency future contract is given in pounds. So when you are exploring this alternative of currency future, understand one thing very well. Your receipt will be in euro, correct? Because the invoice value is euro 4 million, your receipt will be in euro. Your objective will be to sell euro, but the currency future contract is given in terms of pound. So indirectly you would want to buy pounds, correct? And because you would want to buy pounds, you should take a long position in the currency futures contract. And now they have given this as the settlement rate for the futures contract, and the same thing has been informed as 6 months spot rate also. So now let us see how to present the solution. In the solution, you would first mention that Nitrogen Limited is an exporter, so the best outcome would be the one which can maximize the inflow. So alternative 1 is to invoice in sterling using the current exchange rate. So invoice value has been given as euro 4 million, that is euro 40 lakhs. And now because you would want to sell euro, but the quote is given for pound, so you will have to take the inverse values. So euro 1 will be pound 1 upon 1.1770. You should understand one thing, it is a case of two-way quote. And look into one thing, we wanted spot bid rate, we have taken inverse of spot ask rate, correct? Because inverse of ask rate will become bid rate. So this was given as ask rate of pound, we wanted bid rate of euro, we have taken the inverse of ask rate to obtain as bid rate of euro. So obviously what you will do now is the invoice value in terms of pound will be 40 lakh euros divided by 1.1770, and that will give you pound 33 lakh 98,471. We have marked this as 1, that is, this is the final amount of inflow under alternative 1. So do one thing, friends, take note of this part of the solution and then we shall move ahead. Alright friends, you would have finished writing these calculations. Let us move ahead and deal with the second alternative. The second alternative talks about the use of forward exchange contract. So first of all, the invoice value is euro 4 million, or you can say euro 40 lakhs. Spot rate is given in terms of pound, right? So pound 1 equals to euro 1.1750 to euro 1.1770. 6 month forward points are given as 60 by 55. Basically, if you recall, the question has given you the information about these forward points in terms of 0.60 and 0.55 in terms of euro cents. And I told you 1 euro cent is 0.01 euro, correct? That means if it is 0.60 euro cent, it will be basically 0.0060 euro. Therefore, we have taken these as 60 by 55 simply in terms of points. And I told you earlier, because the point applicable for bid rate is higher than the point applicable for the spot rate, it indicates that the quoted currency, that is pound, is depreciating. That means you are going to subtract these points from the spot rate to arrive at the 6-month forward rate applicable. However, we don't want both the rates, correct? We want to ultimately sell euros. In other words, we would want to buy pounds. So for buying pound, the pound ask rate will apply. That means inverse of this ask rate we would consider as the bid rate for euro. So finally we would say 6-month forward rate applicable will be 1.1770 minus 55 points. So we have written 55 points as 0.0055. Understand one thing, this is a euro value, and in the question what was given as euro cent 0.55. Euro cent 0.55 is as good as euro 0.0055, and finally what you get as the applicable rate, euro 1.1715 per pound. So finally 6-month forward rate applied, it will give you resulting inflow of euro 40 lakhs divided by that rate, and the final value what you get in terms of pound will be 34,14,426 pounds. So friends, take note of this part of the solution as well, and then we shall move ahead. Alright friends, you would have finished writing this whole thing. Let us move ahead and take up the third and last alternative, that is using currency futures. Now because the contract is given in terms of pounds and you are a UK exporter, you will have to sell euros. In other words, you will have to buy pounds. The currency future contract is given in pounds. Obviously, you are going to take a long position in such contract. That is why we have specifically mentioned long position in such currency futures contract, and the contracted rate is euro 1.1760 per pound. When you convert 40 lakh euros in pounds using this rate, you get 34 lakh 1,361 pounds, and contract size is 62,500 pounds. So you may find the number of contracts, it is 54.42, because the question has emphasized, and anyway we cannot take contracts in fractions, we have rounded off that number of contracts to 54 contracts. So write down this whole calculation and then we shall move ahead. Alright friends, you would have finished writing these calculations up to total number of contracts as 54 contracts. Let us move ahead and work out the gain or loss arising on currency futures. So in case of currency futures, the contracted price to buy, don't forget you took a long position in the currency futures contract. So the contracted price to buy was euro 1.1760 per pound, and price adopted for settlement of future is euro 1.1785 per pound, and the gain what you get will be euro 0.0025 per pound. Contract size is 62,500 pounds and you have taken 54 contracts. So total gain will be in euro 8438, that is euros 8,438. So note down these calculations and then we shall move ahead. Alright friends, after noting down the total gain amount as euro 8,438, let us move ahead and calculate the total inflow under currency futures. So don't forget that you will have a receipt of euro 4 million, and along with that receipt of euro 4 million, you are going to simply add your gain from currency futures. That means after 6 months you will receive euro 4 millions or 40 lakh euros, and your gain on currency futures was 8,438 euros. So finally what you get in hand after 6 months will be euro 40 lakh 8,438, correct? Now this you are going to convert in pounds by using the spot rate that would prevail after 6 months. So this is same rate which was used as a settlement rate. Question has given you one common rate. Finally, applying this rate, the value that can be converted in terms of GBP will be pound 34,01,305. All these figures identified as 1, 2 and 3 alternative final conclusions are the amounts of inflows, and we find that the maximum inflow was in the alternative of forward exchange contract. So we would conclude inflows can be maximized using forward exchange contract to hedge transaction risk. So friends, take note of this also, and that will be end of the solution.